Hello everyone and welcome back to DSP versus the Internet. Today is July 16, 2023, and this is part 5 of 6. 6 parts every week on the show, and it is the channel members who submit all these videos for us to watch, but super members of the channel also get to submit questions. We have one super member who wanted to follow up on the free will discussion that we did last week, I believe, or was it the week before? I'm not sure. I'll read the question, I'll answer it quickly, and then we'll get back to videos, okay? So, this person says, hey Phil, respectfully, I think your perspective on free will is wrong. Use the analogy of when it's your day off, you have various choices like sleeping, running errands, or enjoying some ice cream. However, having options does not mean free will. Allegorically, that's like saying, since a die can land in 6 different ways, the dice can decide where it wants to land. Whatever you choose to do on your day off, it was done for reasons, and is determined and not free. Lastly, both Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein have expressed the view that free will is merely an illusion. Yes, if you remember my discussion about this last week or the week before, whenever it was, what I said is that discussing free will and assuming that free will means that you have free reign to do whatever you want at all times is ludicrous. There is not a living creature we're aware of that is omnipotent and omniscient and can do everything whenever it wants, correct? Every single creature that makes choices has to make those choices based on its own life limitations and things around it, its environment and its means, correct? So when you're having a discussion about free will, you should have a level of intelligence to understand, no, we're not talking about an omnipotent, omniscient God that can see and do whatever it wants at all times. We're talking about what is a free choice that you can make within the confines of your existence. Does that exist? Yes, it does. So what's the discussion here? The thing is, like, people are so adamant on saying there's no such thing as free will. There is, but it's limited free will based on means and based on resources and based on environment. Free will exists, just not overwhelmingly unlimited free will, okay? It's a very simple discussion, but people like to say, oh, no free will exists because I'm a big brain guy. See, I think big picture. Good for you. Everyone else already got past that line of discussion way before. We have common sense. We already got past that initial level and said, yes, I'm not all-powerful, all-knowing, all doing to do whatever I want. No one is. So therefore, the notion of unlimited free will doesn't exist. It can't exist unless there is a godlike figure out there. We all know that. But I mean, like, when you say free will, it's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking free will within my own means. Today I wake up, what was the first thing I did? Did I take a shit? Did I scratch my nose? Did I pet Jasper? Or did I do a double backflip out of bed and say, woohoo! I had the choice to do any of those things. That's free will. Sorry if you're so ignorant you can't understand that free will can exist. It's just not unlimited. But it does exist. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. So that was my one super member question for the week. And now we continue on with viewer submissions. Let's see what we've got. What's next?
We're about 5 minutes away from position. Oh, you just have that knot in your stomach, man.
Whoa,
the circulation is going right towards this town.
Oh, this is very bad.
Please spare this town, God. On March 31st, 2023, a rare double high risk was issued for portions of the central part of the U.S.
Wow.
The high risk is the highest category that the National Weather Service uses to communicate to the public just how volatile an environment is for severe weather. I originally went to Illinois, but once I crossed the border, I reevaluated and made a decision to head towards this isolated supercell that was just crossing into Iowa.
I got in the storm a few minutes before it developed its first tornado. So why'd he do this? He's a storm chaser? He's apparently a storm chaser. Look, 2.3 million views. I mean, this is incredibly dangerous, no? I hope that he has, like, training and or true safety. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want this guy just going around making videos to get clicks on YouTube. I certainly hope that this guy knows what he's doing.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Look at that inflow tail. Going right into the storm right here. Rapid rotating wall cloud right here. The whole thing's rotating.
That's going to be a tornado. Yep. It's going to turn into a tornado.
Wow. I need to get ahead of this thing. This thing's booking. Wow. A tornado on the ground. Beautiful tornado.
And since they're in the Midwest, everything's flat. They can actually see it. No buildings and shit in the way. They can actually see it fully. Look at that. Damn. That thing's huge. Holy crap. huge and dangerous as shit. I seriously hope he has someone driving for him while he films, and he's not doing this while he's driving. That's pretty crazy. You film and drive at the same time. It's huge. I mean, that's... Holy shit.
All right, here we go. Got to be very careful as we come up on this thing. Oh my gosh!
Look how fast it's spinning. Because it's huge. You have to understand, even though it looks slow, it's not. That's moving at incredible speed.
All right, there it is right there. Oh my god!
They're getting even closer. This guy's insane to get this close to it, man. Yeesh.
Absolutely incredible!
What are you doing? Stop driving towards it, you idiot. Dude, it's right in front of you. What are you doing? Stop your car. What? What the fuck?
Gosh.
Don't drive into it. Oh my god, this guy's insane. Don't drive into it. Oh, it's like a horror movie. You know they're dumb and they're gonna do it, right? He's driving into it. Oh my god. What a stupid idiot. Well, obviously he survived or else no one would have uploaded the video, right? He's gonna take his fucking wipers right off his car.
Okay, Jesus. Oh my gosh. Is he okay? Oh my gosh. You okay? All right.
There's shit flipped right there. Look at that. All these houses were destroyed. You can see all the houses were completely wrecked. Look straight ahead. Oh my god. That might be a flipped car right there. Holy shit.
You're okay. Here, just get in it.
So their car's fucked up. I think he's gonna save them.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go check on your parents.
Yeah, look.
Okay.
That
Are they
car's
still home?
flipped straight ahead. God
Okay.
damn.
Well, I just called him before I seen it.
Okay. Okay. Where are you at?
Oh, right there. Oh.
Oh my gosh. Lord, please, in the name of Jesus, I pray that they'd be okay and they'd be all right in the name of Jesus. Amen. Lord, I pray.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Lord,
look.
in the name of
Completely
Jesus, I
destroyed.
pray. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Yeah, get out. Come on, let's go.
That was their house. Oh my god, that was their fucking house.
We were hit. We were hit.
Wow.
Are you okay? Here, you can get in my car. Here, let's take our time though. Let's take our time, okay? Let's take our time.
Wow.
Well, here, you can come right here in the back. We'll have it right in the back seat, yeah. Oh,
Yeesh.
God. I'm just glad you got your...
Scary shit. Scary shit, man.
Are you all
At least he was
right?
able to help people, right? That's nice.
Did you get hit in the head?
Yes.
It just hit us directly. It just wiped everything out.
This is another storm coming in. Large hail is probably in this. This is not the place we should be for this right now, so we need to get these people to safety. Okay. You guys are alive. Praise God.
Still going? Yeah, look. They're trying to get out of there. Hailstorm coming down now. Yikes. Oh, poor doggo. Derek, I'm happy to have you here today.
Okay. We're okay. We're okay. Hi, buddy.
Another doggo. 2 doggos. 3
I really
doggos.
appreciate this.
Oh, absolutely.
But you gotta get up. They don't like the rain. Come
They
on,
got
back
it.
up.
Awesome.
Jeez.
I don't even want to film. Okay. So this is where, right when the tornado happened, I came up on this house. Well, I came up on the guy who just got hit by the tornado in his truck, and this was his grandparents' house. So we came here right
Wow.
away. Thank God, both of the grandparents were okay. They survived here in the bathroom. Oh, I'm just so glad. I'm like shivering because I'm cold, but also there's so much that happened, so I'm still processing.
Damn.
Okay.
Damn, they're lucky as shit that they survived. The whole roof got ripped off their house, man. What? That was nuts. Well, that was certainly unique. We never seen anything like that on DSPReacts yet, have we? Like, I feel like I was there. That was crazy. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. On to the next. Holy shit.
Can't believe you're coming all the way back to the scene of the crime for a dog-eared book.
It's a signed first edition. And just so you know, if Russell expects certain favours in exchange for its return, I'll be happy to turn a blind eye.
Oh, lovely. That's great. To get back your humorous paperback, I have to go back to my life in sex traffic. But that's fine by you. Right, Russell?
What?
How's it going? We just happened to be passing and we wondered if you'd found a...
I'm not interested in talking to you, Jeremy. Not after this.
But I didn't do that.
Sure. Sure you didn't. You're pathetic.
All right. That's enough. I have no idea what this is. That's not to I have no fucking clue what that was.
Okay, so I have one more ultimate foe.
Oh my god!
I just annihilated Frieza!
Who is that?
Goku!
I'm from the future. My name is Trunks. I'm that guy's son. Huh? Also, you're dead.
Huh?
I mean in the future.
Oh, okay.
Heart disease. Here's an antidote for whenever that pops up. By the way, in 3 years, evil androids are gonna destroy everything. I just came to warn you. Okay, bye.
Look, it's the android! I got this! Yep, that's the heart disease. Sorry, gotta go by.
Hey guys, I can go Super Saiyan now. He's mine. Guys, these aren't even the right androids. Yeah, I'm Dr. Giro or whatever, and I'm gonna go get the real androids right now. Bye.
Bye.
Android 17 and 18. I'm gonna use the 2 of you to take over the world.
Nah, I'm not doing that.
Let's make Android 16.
I love nature.
These androids are pure evil!
Hey, Krillin, I made this remote to blow up all the androids.
I'm gonna kill them and finally end this! But you know, we could give him a chance, maybe.
I said something strange. What the? Help me! Help me! I'll pay you whatever you want. Help me!
He's a vacuum cleaner tail. A fucking vacuum cleaner tail.
My name is Cell. Tell me where the androids are.
What androids?
I was created by Dr. Giro's computer in the future that was destroyed. I know all your moves, because you've been recorded by that thing.
What is that?
A remote recording device to track you through all of your past battles and to use yourself to create me crazy.
You have all of our powers?
Yep. I stole Trunks' time machine from that era and came to this timeline so I can absorb the androids and become perfect.
Not if I kick your butt. Guys, there's someone even worse named Cell coming. He's stronger than all of us. Cell!
Cell?
I love nature.
I will not be absorbed.
It's a fucking like laundry bag. That's great. Yo, the sound effects are great. The fucking laundry bag hit him.
One step closer to perfection. What? I took the antidote for my heart disease. Okay. And I'm gonna fight you. Alright. But I need one more day to get ready. Okay, that's fine. Okay, thanks. Whoosh. Yeah, I'll kill him myself. Please. I'm gonna kill you and finally end this.
Wait, earlier you said you were almost perfect?
Yeah, I just need to absorb her.
Oh, okay, yeah, go for it.
Oh, come on.
That's literally what happens. Stupid plot.
Now we're talking.
This is not.
We're not strong enough to even touch him.
I could kill you all right now and finally end this. But if I gave you some more time, do you think you could get stronger?
Yeah, probably.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen of Earth, in 9 days, I will be holding a competition of strength.
This is
arts tournament.
ridiculously actually a really good summary. Although they said Cell Saga in 5 minutes is 8 minutes long. It's actually a pretty good summary. I mean, it's all right. I don't want to keep watching it the entire show. We're gonna skip to the next thing, but actually, it's ridiculously low budget and silly, but it actually covers the plot accurately. So if you want to watch more for yourself. Let's continue.
This is King's Field. Its masterful game
King's
design
Field?
paved the way for the From software we all know today, and if you enjoy Dark Souls, it's a game you should know about to better
I never played
understand the
King's Field.
foundation of Souls. King's Field was From Software's first video game series.
Ah.
Their first game ever, titled King's Field, was the Japanese PlayStation's first RPG.
Ah.
Their second game, also titled King's Field, but technically King's Field 2 in Japan, was the international PlayStation's first RPG.
Ah.
It also happens to be one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh, I never played it. Never even heard of it.
And
Well,
the
I've
reason
heard of
why
it.
From Software is one of my favorite companies of all time. This is just a cool camera trick that I saw my coworker Kurt do that I wanted to replicate. Don't mind me though. While From Software is notorious today for Hidetaka Miyazaki's genius and the Soul series and beyond, what I find fascinating is that so much can be traced back to the very conception of From Software, way back before Hidetaka Miyazaki ever worked for the company. Now, let me know if any of these design concepts sound familiar to you. You start in a location with branching paths. There are definitely routes you shouldn't take and are far too difficult for you, but the game won't hold your hand and trust the player to discover for themselves the correct path to go. Meanwhile, it's actually okay to travel these paths if you can accept the challenge. There is a story, but it's not completely spoon-fed to you, and you'll have to look at item descriptions to get a fuller picture of what's going on.
Sounds familiar.
There are locations with hidden traps that have been set for you, which you can also utilize against your enemies. The game is notoriously challenging and forces you to figure out the mechanics yourself. There are a plentiful amount of hidden walls and trust falls onto hidden ledges with both secret items and weapons for you to find. In other words, secrets that are actually meaningful and exciting to get. Your weapon attacks are slow and methodical, meaning you feel the weight of your weapons. You have a stamina gauge and can't just repeatedly attack without some sort of negative repercussion.
Why are they showing Dark Souls the entire
The
time?
world
Why not
design
show
is
King's Field?
interconnected, and you'll find looping and branching paths, as well as shortcuts that bring you back to earlier points in the game. While I've been showing footage of the Soulsborne games, all of these elements are right here in this little gem. So, let me rewind and give you the exact same speech, but with King's Field footage.
Why didn't you just do that to begin with?
You start in a location with branching paths. There are definitely
Oh,
routes
it's
you shouldn't
first
take
person.
and are far too difficult for you, but the game won't hold your hand and trust the player to discover for themselves the correct path to go. Meanwhile, it's actually okay to travel these paths if you can accept the challenge. There is a story, but it's not completely spoon-fed to you, and you'll have to look at item descriptions to get a fuller picture of what's
Look at
going
that.
on.
Huh.
There are locations with hidden traps that have been set for you, which you can also utilize against your enemies. The game is notoriously challenging and forces you to figure out the mechanics yourself. There are a plentiful amount of hidden walls and trust falls
Oh
onto hidden ledges
shit!
with both
I did play this game. I totally remember it now. I rented it. And I hated it. Why? Because this was the era when every game had to go 3D, every game had to be full polygons. And as you can see, the game doesn't look good. The game on PS1 at least, I don't know if there was other versions, PS1, it ran horribly. The frame rate chugged, and basically the game played in like ultra slowdown mode all the time. I remember renting it, and I was like, dude, why would I want to play this? It runs like shit. Like, it was like playing underwater in molasses. You couldn't get your character to react when you pressed the fucking button. So you're like, why on earth would I want to play this game? Now, I totally remember it. Yeah, I remember it had that big box. Yes, I got it from Blockbuster. Yep, King's Field. So it's interesting. So all they did is they took the formula of the first-person game that they made, and then they changed it into a third-person action game, and it became incredibly popular. That's quite interesting, actually, to see that they did that. Okay, on to the next video.
It had a diameter of 3.5 inches and weighed approximately 14 pounds. But despite its size, it was given a menacing nickname, the Demon Core.
Huh?
The Demon Core was a metal alloy of refined plutonium-239 and gallium. The core was originally planned as a third bomb to be dropped on Tokyo on August 19th, if Japan failed to surrender after the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. When Japan officially surrendered on August 15, 1945, the core was retired to experimental testing at Los Alamos, New Mexico. It was at Los Alamos that two fatal accidents...
Are you telling me that they're saying that there was going to be a third attack on Japan that wasn't going to be a nuke, it was going to be a plutonium bomb? Is that what he just said? And it was called the Demon Core? What in the fuck? Seriously? I knew nothing of that at all.
Involving the core would result in the death of two highly prominent nuclear physicists. The first victim was physicist Harry Daghlian. Harry Daghlian was conducting experiments on the core on August 21, 1945, just a week after Japan surrendered. He was performing neutron reflector experiments, which attempted to observe the core under near-critical conditions. The way neutron reflection works is you have a radioactive mass which is constantly emitting all kinds of radioactive particles, like alpha, beta, and neutron particles. When you add a shield like a brick of lead or tungsten carbide around the core, some interesting things happen. Both the alpha and beta particles get absorbed into the shield. However, neutron particles, being much more energized and neutrally charged, bounce off the shield. The neutron could bounce off in any direction. It could even bounce back into the core. When the neutrons collide with the core, it energizes it, causing it to become slightly more unstable, closer and closer to criticality. The more critical the core gets, the more radiation it emits. The more shields you add, the more neutrons collide with the core. At some point, you end up placing so much shielding around the core that enough neutrons collide back into it, causing it to go supercritical. This image is a recreation of the experiment Harry Daghlian was performing. These are the tungsten carbide bricks he was using to reflect neutrons back at the core to observe criticality.
So it's actually safer to leave it unshielded than shielded, because when you make it shielded, it becomes more critical. It can explode. Oh, God.
He gradually set up a stack of bricks around the core, with each brick bringing the core one step closer to criticality. One of the bricks placed on a stack fell, causing it to land directly on the near-critical plutonium core. The brick now reflected an abnormally high amount of neutrons back into the core, making it undergo a criticality excursion event. The core went supercritical for a brief second, causing a sudden burst of neutron radiation. Daghlian quickly removed the brick from the core with his hand, returning it to a subcritical state. Though Daghlian was only briefly exposed to the supercritical core for a split second, he received an extraordinarily high dose of radiation of 510 rem, or 5.1 sieverts.
It killed him, didn't it?
Any rem dose over 300 is fatal, and Daghlian received more than 1.5 times the fatal dosage. Here's a photo of Daghlian's hand badly damaged by radiation exposure just 9 days later. By the way, this is not bandaging, it's skin, falling off Daghlian's hand due to massive cell damage, a common symptom of acute radiation exposure. Daghlian received the lethal dose on August 21, 1945, and perished on September 15th, just 25 days later. However, Harry Daghlian was not alone. In the room with him was a security guard and Army private Robert Hemmerly. Hemmerly was about 10 feet away from the core and received a much less severe dose of 8 rem, or 0.08 sieverts. Due to a much lower dose, he would later die from leukemia at the age of 62.
Wow, are they saying that's why he got leukemia?
Nonetheless, the Demon Core claimed its first victim, and there was more to come. The second incident occurred on May 21st, 1946. Physicist Louis Slotin, who had worked on the Manhattan Project, was also testing criticality experiments on the plutonium core. But this time, instead of tungsten carbide bricks, the reflector was 2 half-spheres of beryllium that were placed around the core. In the experiment, the core was placed in one half-sphere, while the other would rise.
What they're saying is if the core is kind of just left alone, it's okay. But it's when you start putting the shielding on it, that's when it becomes insanely dangerous. Because he showed him holding it right there, and it was fine. Huh.
Rise and fall on top. Measurements of the core's activity was recorded as the top sphere moved up and down. This procedure had an even smaller margin of error than the tungsten carbide brick experiment. The spheres had to come within millimeters of each other, but could not touch. If they would, even for a split second, the core would go full supercritical. To prevent complete closure, shims were placed between the spheres. Louis Slotin, having done the experiment dozens of times, became acquainted with the procedure, and instead used the tip of a flathead screwdriver.
No.
One of Slotin's colleagues, Enrico Fermi, warned Slotin would be dead in a year if he continued the criticality experiments in this manner. On the day of the incident, Slotin was demonstrating how to conduct the criticality experiment to fellow physicist Alvin Graves, who is to replace Slotin in the near future. Whilst demonstrating the procedure, Slotin's screwdriver slipped, causing the top beryllium reflector to enclose the core. Immediately, there was a flash of blue light emitted from the closed sphere. Slotin quickly turned his wrist, flipping the top sphere off the core, halting the criticality reaction. In addition to Slotin and Graves, there were 6 other employees in the room. Physics student Samuel Klein, physicist Marian Selesky, photographer Dwight Young, physicist Raymer Schreiber, engineer Theodore Perlman, and security guard Patrick Cleary. Due to Slotin's position being directly in front and above the core, he received the highest dose of radiation, estimated to be at 1,000 rem or 10 sieverts, more than 3 times the fatal dose. Graves didn't receive as high a dose as he was standing directly behind Slotin. The other observers received much lower doses but still showed some effects of radiation exposure later in life, specifically Marian Selesky, who succumbed to leukemia in 1965, and Dwight Young, who suffered from aplastic anemia some 29 years later. Other observers either had little to no signs or died from other causes. For example, Patrick Cleary died 4 years later in the Korean War, and Alvin Graves died of a heart attack in 1965. However, Louis Slotin was the most unfortunate. Over the next several days, he experienced horrific effects of
His whole body
radiation
probably just
poisoning.
disintegrated.
There were radiation burns both in and outside his body. Complications from radiation burns caused intestinal paralysis, gangrene of the skin, and as one medical professional stated, total disintegration
I
of
told you,
bodily
he disintegrated.
functions. Slotin eventually passed away on May 30th,
Fuck.
just 9 days after the incident. As for the Demon Core, it was scheduled to be used in a detonation test. However, its radioactivity levels were far too high to be stored in a bomb. It was melted down and recycled into smaller plutonium cores for detonation tests.
That's it.
The fates of Harry Daghlian and Louis Slotin are a reminder of why safety procedures are so important in experimentation. It is unfortunate that the final days of their lives are etched in history as making fatal mistakes and paying for them.
Jesus, and how dangerous is this technology that they were fucking with in World War II, right? That this ball is so dangerous. If you just encase it, it's gonna kill everything around it. And they were gonna drop that on Tokyo. All right, ladies and gents. Oh shit, that was pretty crazy, huh? That was a pretty crazy part, I would say. But we got one part left coming on this week's show. Thank you for watching. DSP versus the internet. This has been an interesting week. Like, I've actually felt like fascinated more often than not on the stuff we're watching this week. We'll see what the final videos will be in this random order playlist coming right up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the final part.